Another day, another all-time high, another day of the Chad Saylor obliterating the corporate media and pulling no punches. When should you sell your Bitcoin? Well, that depends on how poor you want to be. This analyst just joined the list of media talking heads that Michael Saylor has absolutely slim shadied the past few years. Rest in peace, Benzino, and also rest in peace this guy and his chair. Stay until the finish. We're going to show you the 21 worst takes in history on Bitcoin from some highly regarded adversaries. Bitcoin is on a tear, mowing through anything and everything in its path. We got a lot to cover. Let's get it.
Party, that party. Yeah, come and have a good time with G.O.D.
The risks of denying Bitcoin. Michael Saylor put on display in absolutely full laser-eyed Giga Chad fashion, and the fiat clowns are in utter disbelief.
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it. They're buying the real estate because they expect
because
that
they
it's
want
going
to
become
sell it
more
eventually,
desirable.
Michael. I mean, let's be honest. Most of the people who are, yes, sure, some people pass it on to their children, but like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit. So
Let me say it a different way.
Okay.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, there's a name for them. We call them poor.
Michael Saylor just literally rug pulled reality from that mainstream media moron. Not only that, what did Saylor do to absolutely dunk on these people? Again, the second time this week, he issued notes, this time $500 million to buy more Bitcoin. Saylor gets it. The name of the game is buy Bitcoin, and whoever acquires the most wins.
I think everyone knows by now that you see a long-term store of value in Bitcoin. And you have said that you see it as digital property as opposed to thinking of it as a digital currency. If you could help me understand, as you add more to the company's balance sheet, what the sort of end game is.
Yeah, well, we think Bitcoin is the highest form of property. It's the apex property in the world. And it's the best investment asset. So the end game is to acquire more Bitcoin. Whoever gets the most Bitcoin wins.
Legend, the complete opposite of this guy who wants everyone sterile, eating bugs. I would short Bitcoin if there was an easy way to do it. That's what Bill Gates said 6 years ago when Bitcoin was at 9,600, and Bitcoin is up a humble 600% since then.
Bitcoin happens to use a lot of energy. It happens to promote anonymous transactions. They're not reversible transactions. I do think people get bought into these manias who may not have as much money to spare. So I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. And, my general thought would be that, if you have less money than Elon, you should probably watch out.
Billy Boy is not alone. Oh no, and it's time to bring those receipts. You came at the king and got exposed for the fraud, scams, and losers that you really are. Here are the 21 worst takes on Bitcoin. Let's go. Oh, Charlie, the Crypt Keeper Munger, famously hates Bitcoin. In a 2019 interview, Munger said trading Bitcoin was immoral, almost as bad as trading freshly harvested baby brains. What the hell is this guy talking about?
Suppose you could make a lot of money trading freshly harvested baby brains. Would you do it, or would you say that's immoral? You wouldn't trade them, would you? It's too awful a concept. Well, to me, Bitcoin is almost as bad.
But Bitcoin's up over 1,700% since then. Oh, don't forget when the Orange Man on Fox News in June of 2021 was asked about Bitcoin, his response, it just seems like a scam.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam. I was surprised. With us, it was at 6,000 and much lower. I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar. Essentially, it's a currency competing against the dollar. I want the dollar to be the currency of the world. That's what I've always said.
Well, Bitcoin is up over 88% since June 2021. One of my favorite fiat morons, Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon doesn't believe in the 21 million supply cap. When it's verifiable, everyone can go check it for themselves. Quote, Satoshi will reappear, laugh at us, and all the Bitcoins will be erased.
Bitcoin's based on a distributed ledger.
Yeah,
it has all the characteristics of a store of value. It's immutable, it's scarce.
Totally untrue. It's
21 million.
Well, yeah, really. How do you know it's going to stop at 21 million?
Because
I've mentioned this to people
Satoshi.
Too. Everyone says that. Well, maybe it's going to get to 21 million, and Satoshi's picture is going to come up and laugh at you all.
Well, Bitcoin's up 300% and 50% since those clips at the WEF in January 2023 and 2024. Go f yourself, Jamie. Oh, the good old ECB, their blog post from November 2022 titled Bitcoin's Last Stand. Bitcoin was on its road to irrelevance. Well, it's up 400% since then. Honey Badger doesn't care. Bitcoin hit an all-time high in euros. Good old Optimus Field's favorite central banker, Christine Lagarde. Convicted felon, former French finance minister, and former head of the IMF. Current president of the ECB. She hates Bitcoin. In 2023, she said it was worth nothing. And Bitcoin's up 200% since then. What about old Shifty Pete, the gold bug? Some of the most regarded takes we have seen. And it's so sad from someone who's supposed to understand sound money in Austrian economics. I don't think he read Human Action. Just scroll through his feed. But Bitcoin's up over 1,300% since his client put their entire RIA into Bitcoin. Oh, Gary. Taught a class at MIT on blockchain, which was covering Bitcoin, but the SEC he chairs seems, well, pretty anti-Bitcoin. They tried to make a statement they absolutely did not endorse the Bitcoin ETFs, but Bitcoin's up 50% since they were approved. Liz Warren, geez, where do we begin? If you want any treasure trove of uneducated takes on Bitcoin, go to Liz Warren's feed, type in Bitcoin, get dumber with every tweet you read. But since she began her crusade against Bitcoin, the crypto army looks more like a clown show to me.
Bitcoin consumes more energy than entire countries, and it is projected to consume as much energy as all the data centers in the whole world this year. One Bitcoin transaction, a single purchase, sale, or transfer, uses the same amount of electricity as the typical US household uses in more than a month. So,
but Bitcoin hash rate is up 500% since then, and it's just becoming more and more energy efficient. Not to mention it's the cleanest industry when it comes to energy use on the planet. Ben McKenzie, dude from the OC, don't know why he hates Bitcoin, but due to his hatred, he almost had to buy Barack Obama's deputy chief of staff a Porsche. Francis Coppola, I still don't know if this is a real person because their takes are so stupid. I think they're just trolling all the time. But since they said Bitcoin is not scarce, it's infinitely divisible, well, Bitcoin's up 300%. What about old Keith McCulloch? Sold his corn back in October 2020, and this happens. People sell, they think they're so right, and then due to their animosity, they get full Bitcoin derangement syndrome. Which brings me to my favorite walrus, Nassim Taleb. This guy actually wrote the foreword for the first edition of the Bitcoin Standard, then he got full-on Bitcoin derangement syndrome. Since he recommended investing in olive groves instead of Bitcoin, Bitcoin's up over, 30%.
If you want to hedge against inflation, buy a piece of land, grow, olives on it. You'll have olive oil. If the price collapses, you'll have something. But Bitcoin, there's no connection.
Oh, the Oracle of Omaha becoming more irrelevant. I mean, you guys saw that article, didn't you? Bitcoin is the new Berkshire Hathaway.
It does not meet the test of a currency. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not around in 10 or 20 years.
Why does it not meet the definition of a currency?
Well, because people say, well, I'll sell you goods in Bitcoins, but they change the price of those every time the price of the dollar changes in relation to Bitcoin. They're pricing off the dollar. They could say, well, I'll sell it to you in barrels of oil. But if every time the price of oil changes, they change the number of barrels you have to have. That's not, your oil is not the currency.
And he's bad. He's salty. It burns him. He lived off the Candlelight effect for far too long, hates Bitcoin. And there was a great post from Pete Rizzo you're going to want to go check out and see just how much Bitcoin has gone up since Buffett has dismissed it. How about this guy, Dave Ramsey, giving financial advice to the degenerates out there? Here's another one from Pete Rizzo. Are you starting to see a trend here?
I got all you Iraqi dinar people and all you gold people all pissed off at me. So let's just go ahead and add you Bitcoin people to the mix. You're stupid. You're going to lose your money. Be pissed at me. You shouldn't have put money in something wacko like that.
Oh, wonderful. Paul Krugman, arguably the worst economist on the planet. Let's see what Paul had to say about Bitcoin. Back in December 2013, Bitcoin is evil. Big bad Bitcoin, up over 8,500%. Since then, go fuck yourself, Krugman. What about the good old Skull of Satoshi, Greenpeace? Been one of the greatest marketing teams for Bitcoin, with the corn up 100%. since this.
Greenpeace is campaigning to change Bitcoin's code so it stops fueling the climate crisis and harming communities. Bitcoin is the world's most popular digital currency, and right now it's using as much electricity as entire countries, and most of that's coming from polluting fossil fuels like coal and gas.
Why do people listen to this Peter Zeihan guy? He did say that Bitcoin had zero value, so how smart is he really?
There's no intrinsic value to this asset. And now it's starting to be priced appropriately. So it has a, what's Bitcoin at? 16,000? It has another 17,000 to go down.
Duh, really?
Yeah, there's no intrinsic value to this product. The craziest things about Bitcoin is that there will never be more than X number of units of Bitcoin. Well, by default, that means it can't be used for trade, because the whole idea of economic activity is that there's expansion, which means you need more currency to lubricate and manage that expansion. If currency is locked in at a specific number, you get monetary inflation, and that is one of the fastest ways to destroy an economic model.
So because of the lack of Bitcoin, because there's a certain controlled number, the only thing that can happen is Bitcoin becomes more expensive.
Right. And that means that the people who hold it are the ones that make the money, but everyone else suffers? I'm sorry, that's not viable.
Got another lesson for y'all. You see a man bun? You run! Garrett Soloway did not know who this guy was until, seen him absolutely get wrecked shorting Bitcoin.
If we look at the bigger time frame here, this is into a key level, and I did take a short position on Bitcoin. Not necessarily going to be popular with the maxis, but, to be honest, I'm a trader. I'm going to be in and I'm going to be out. But what we could see here again, if we go back on the chart, you take your 2019 high right through the lows of the bull market, and it just tagged it here. That's where we got our 20% drop, and we're right back to that line here, just around that 50,000 even number.
Since he started shorting the hell out of Bitcoin in January, Bitcoin's up 50%, and Soloway is highly likely wrecked. All right, before we finish up, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsors, the Bitcoin Way. Bringing over 25 years of experience in cybersecurity, the Bitcoin Way is your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They'll help take you from that why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. From setting up your first wallet node all the way up to inheritance planning, accepting Bitcoin payments for your business. They cover all aspects of Bitcoin security and privacy. They even work with their clients to configure routers, devices, and networks. Also, not to mention UTXO management and coin joining. In short, for everything in Bitcoin sovereignty and privacy related, they are your go-to source. Hey, if you're looking to get started, you can book a free 30-minute call using that link below. All right, let's finish it up here. Kameth Palpatia, crypto is dead in America, but we all know it's Bitcoin, not crypto.
Crypto's dead in America. You had Gensler even blaming the banking crisis on crypto.
All those people who use their little crypto and blockchain buzzwords as umbrellas to include Bitcoin in, well, Bitcoin was 27K at that time. It's up 144% since then. Look at this. Quote, Bitcoin is just another bubble asset that blows up when the Fed gets serious about hiking interest rates. Sayonara Bitcoin. That is one hell of a receipt. Rates remain high. Bitcoin does not care and is up 164% since that tweet. Guys, Bitcoin is football. It's the greatest show in cyberspace. Shouts out to the legend Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk, Isaac Bruce. I mean, they were loaded with Hall of Famers, but Bitcoin is the equivalent of that unstoppable offensive machine. Also, read the fountainhead, Howard Rourke. The entire apparatus of the collectivist regime cannot stop an idea whose time has come. Michael Saylor has been saying that for some time now. At the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share that Sound Money Gospel. Give us a pump. Don't forget to tune in to the #1 Bitcoin-only live news show, Simply Bitcoin Live, coming at you Monday through Friday at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. Also, down in the description, follow us on Twitter for all the latest breaking news. Set those notifications, keep tuning in, keep following, and we will be your guide through the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.